Okay, so here we are in day umpteen whatever of quarantine as we're
Been a
all
while.
slowly losing our minds in 2020. I had such high hopes for this year, and here we are.
I know, right? I feel like everybody was just starting to really get their lives together, and then this happened, and so everybody's just kind of spinning their wheels at this point.
Hmm.
Oh,
Yep, we all came into the year with a game plan, and then Mother Nature just gave us the middle finger and was
oh
like,
yeah.
"Screw you guys, stay home."
Mhm.
Uh, so this is Bo Peak, everyone, with Geek in the Geek World. She is a cosplayer, TikToker, nerd all around. I think I met you through uh, nerd through either conventions or nerd cosplay.
The Nerdless Festival.
Hmm.
That's where I met most of y'all.
We have both performed in now.
Good times. Oh man, I miss it.
It was a lot of fun. I
Mhm.
think I'm trying to remember if mine was the Buffy Angel number with Percy Fanny,
Uh,
or if it was.
I don't think it was that one. I feel like that one would have stuck out in my memory because I'm
Oh yeah.
such a huge like Buffy fan.
Nice. I'll see if I can find a clip of that one. And then maybe it was Harry Potter.
It might have been Harry Potter.
I had a Harry Potter number that I think I took to Nerd Last Fest because I remember that one. We had these guys in the front row. There were these group of like dude bros that just all came in together, like 8 of them, and
Hmm.
they were all like sunglasses and like hat tilted to the side, but they were all like really into the show.
Oh
And
yeah.
I think we called them like the Griffin Bros or something like that because during all the Harry Potter stuff, they were just like, "Yeah, all right."
Bros.
And
So typical of Gryffindors. Oh my gosh.
it is what they do. Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, so I did this thing with the tie, with my tie, and I'm like sliding it back and forth, and I throw it, and it wraps up in the rafters up above me.
Yes,
Everybody,
wait, I remember that. I remember sitting in the audience going, oh no. Like
I'm not
every
getting that
little
back.
bit of my wardrobe management like brain was like, oh God. Like uh,
But yeah, definitely. I managed to retrieve it later, but I was just really excited because I was like, "That's awesome! I don't think I can replicate that." In fact, I think I've tried in other venues, and it just couldn't relive that one moment of magic
the
there.
magical moment. You just gotta accept it the way it is.
Magic moment. So, wanted to ask first of all, just how are you holding up? How are you staying sane during quarantine?
Ah, getting there. I've honestly been sewing so much. I
So you've been
have
making masks, correct?
yes, yes.
All right, all right.
So we had some fabric donated by like our neighbors and such, and so me and my mom ended up making I think over 30 masks that we donated to the local hospital because my mom is a nurse, and so we pretty much like took care of all the ladies on her floor that she normally would work with.
Oh wow.
And then ever since then, I've just been making them for friends, family, trying not to charge a lot for them. I mostly just want to get masks out there. If I can help, that's my one way of contributing.
No, that's awesome. And I've seen so many people getting into this, mask
Mhm.
making. One of the things I've really been impressed with during this quarantine is the way that I've seen the community coming together.
Yes.
I have seen people rallying around people that are unemployed, people making masks to help keep people safe. I have seen fundraisers for venues that we're big fans of, trying to keep the venue
Mhm.
running. And so, genuinely, the sort of coming together of the community as a whole, I've been really proud of everybody getting behind that.
Yeah.
What are some creative projects that you've been working on during this time?
Well, I actually just ordered my fabric for my Molly Mock tea leaf coat. If anybody knows about Critical Role out there, he's kind of one of the most beloved characters from the second campaign. Um, his costume is also ridiculously detailed, and I will probably hate myself and hate the character by the time that I'm done with it. Because originally I had planned to sew on all of his sigils on the coat.
Now,
Oh my god.
Critical Role is one of those where they're playing like a D&D campaign and like
Yes.
recording
So
it.
it's a bunch of voice actors who got together and they started their first campaign years ago. and then it got so popular because one, it's voice actors that a lot of people kind of know, and they have guests that will come in, and it's just a lot of fun to see them play D&D. They make the
Okay.
stories so interesting. And so what I'll do is whenever I'm working on cosplays or something that I don't necessarily have to watch to get, it helps because it's almost like background noise, but I'm also, being entertained while working. Yeah, so I'll listen to it whenever I'm cleaning. It's one of those. It's always fun to listen to. It's always makes me laugh, and the characters are really cool. Plus, it makes me want to play D&D so badly, so badly.
Yeah, I've been needing my D&D fix for a while. I've been contemplating running a campaign in the Engineer's Empire world, so the book series that I've been working on, and
Yeah.
considering that one's still up in the air.
Well, if you need a bard, let me know because that's.
So the one I'm familiar with is Harmon Quest. Have you ever seen that one?
I actually haven't. That sounds familiar. I feel like somebody has told me about it, but I haven't seen that one. I've seen Critical Role and Adventure Zone.
All right. Critical Role. Harmon Quest is Dan Harmon. Dan Harmon is one of the creators of Community.
Yeah.
He writes for Rick and Morty. He's worked on a bunch of other shows. And so it's him running a D&D campaign with a group of actors that he knows. And like, you'll see these guys and you're like, wait, no, I've seen this guy in this thing and this guy in this other thing over here.
Mm-hmm.
And then they animate sections of the D&D campaign.
Nice. Oh, that's always cool.
Really neat. It's really neat. Do you have anything you're able to show us? Anything that you've been working on, or?
Not really. Besides, what I post on TikTok, that's about it. I don't have a lot of physical stuff. Plus, half my stuff is still in bags currently. So every time that I have to film, I have to do this wild goose chase of like, okay, what box did I put this prop in? Can I even do this character? Because I can't find their coat. Like it's
Right,
one of those.
because this was this whole quarantine thing hit right when you were supposed to move. So this has been a huge life disruptor for you right now.
Oh yes, I was actually about to close on a townhouse that I absolutely loved. It's been on the market for a while, so hopefully when this all calms down, I might be able to get back on that.
Fingers
But
crossed.
until then, I have moved back to the safety of home, and it's
All
nice
right.
because, being able to spend time with family, plus they kind of need me right now. So it all worked out. I'm able to save money. I'm trying not to think of it as a step back, more just just a pause.
Sideways.
Yeah, it's a little pothole in the road. So it'll be fine.
So how has this been affecting your social sphere right now? For better or worse?
I mean, to be honest, I'm already so much of a homebody that I didn't really go out. But at the same time, it's definitely different. I have never wanted to hug my friends so bad in my life. I'm already like that touch starved. Plus, I mean, as much as I love staying home, I'm kind of sick of it now. It's slowly turning me into an extrovert, and it's weird because I'm not used to these feelings. But no, I've been able to keep up with friends mainly through Zoom and all of the different like Netflix party, watching movies together online.
Mm-hmm.
So I still try to hang out with my friends as much as possible.
Right.
But it's different. It just is.
It's never going to be the same as sitting in the room with everybody.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like you can take shots together over webcam, but it's just not the same type of burn,
A lot of Jackbox parties lately. I've been
Yes.
invited to by other performers from other cities and states, so that's been fun. But it's kind of neat. Go ahead.
Oh, I was about to say, I'm going to have to buy it at this point because now I have way too much fun on those games.
You get the right ones. It's just interesting, though, I would have never thought to message friends of mine on a Saturday night and been like, hey, you guys want to just like hang out online and play Jackbox and Zoom together? So this quarantine has created a, kind of a one-of-a-kind excuse to do things like that and to hang out remotely with friends that you normally just don't have that kind of time for.
Yeah, exactly.
Not time for the friends, but time for that sort of hanging out. That's
Yeah.
I want to be clear. Have you found the extra time at home useful?
For me, yeah. I mean, I'm starting on little projects here and there. Because again, I mean, I can't really go out and buy a lot of materials unless I order them online, and then you kind of have to wait. But I've noticed I'm kind of picking up the little projects that really won't take long at all. I've just been putting them off because I'm lazy, and that's what happens. For instance, I have this old spider like decoration from Halloween that I am painting to look like the tarantulas from Animal Crossing, because it's the perfect size, and I've always had that on my list. I just never got around to doing it, and so now I'm just like, okay, time to paint spiders. Cosplay is a weird hobby.
True, true. I was actually talking with somebody about writing, and there was this thing that's talking about like being a writer, you're up late and can't sleep or something like that. And I was like, no, no, no. I wrote a thing that was like, you've got about 85 different tabs open, stretching from authentic Basque cuisine, ways to poison somebody without it being traced, how long it would take you to drive from Alaska to southern Chile.
Yeah.
A car that's misfiring, but you're coked up to go through the entire trip. You're probably on 3 FBI watch lists. You can't decide between coffee and wine at this point, and you just like lost all control.
Oh yeah. I think I have started so many different little snippets of writing that I'm like, I'm just gonna finally get this idea out on paper.
Yes.
And then I just get halfway down, and then I get distracted by something, and I'm like, you know what, maybe I should drink a glass of wine or two, because that'll make it writing easier, right? And then I just end up drinking and watching Netflix. So
there you go. Yeah, I've tried the wine drinking and writing, and I have not found it to be very terribly productive.
Yeah. Yeah.
The whole right front of it sober, I've not found it to work personally.
I think I'm good after like 1.5. If I have 1.5, it's that sweet spot to where I'm just like, you know what, I'm just gonna type, and then I review it later, and I'm like, okay, cut this, this, and this, but this is actually a good line, like.
And for the perfectionist and the writer, it kind of relaxes that little part of the brain that's going to second guess everything while you're writing it, and you're like, no, get it out now, and then you can fix it later.
Yep.
So how has this affected your interaction with your fandoms, your audience? Well, okay, we'll start with fandoms. So your ability to ingest, the things that you're into, whether it's games, comics, anime, etc. Has this affected it? Has it allowed you to get into it more or less? Have you been restricted in any way?
I would say, yeah, it's definitely kind of given me the time to catch up on a lot of things that have been, on my list where friends have recommended, or they're like, no, you have to watch this. And you always say, oh yeah, I'll watch it later. And then go and rewatch Supernatural for the 15th time. So
Sam and Dean are just so pretty.
They're so pretty. And especially going back from season 1, they're just
with their baby
tiny and young, and they're
my gosh,
their little faces.
You just want to pinch their cheeks.
So it's been a nice little mix of, slowly working on my list, but while also having the time to be like, you know what, I want to watch a few episodes of that show. So it's definitely led to a big increase of my online viewing.
Good.
For sure.
How about with your audience? So your TikTokers, anybody that follows you either through Instagram, TikTok.
Well, especially during this whole quarantine thing, I've noticed a lot of events type of thing popping up on TikTok. For instance, yesterday we did TikTok Galley Day, which is a Doctor Who day. I think originally it's based on the day that the Disney parks will feature, like, it's one of those days that they're like, yeah, you can come in full costume, and everybody just kind of celebrates Doctor Who.
Ooh.
And so because we're all in quarantine and we still want to have, that celebration, people have been doing Galley Day, which everybody's in their Doctor Who cosplays and just making a bunch of content and putting it out there.
Galley Day, I just got it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they'll get you.
And then, well, I guess another thing is, and I don't know if this has affected your sort of 6-month, 1-year goals. Has it given you more time to work on them? And what are some of the things that you plan on working on, perfecting or releasing in the next 6 months to a year?
So it didn't really affect me that much, and that I honestly am in a better position now because I'm not spending as much money, and having that time to like really build up my bank account again is nice. Um,
Yes.
so my main goal was to close on my own place. So this, like I said, it might just be a little bit of a pothole, but it also gives me the chance to really make sure that I'm financially stable to go into that. Because I don't know if you've ever bought a place, but it is so expensive getting everything going. So yeah,
Yeah, no, it's fees on top of fees, and then there's your down payment, there's your closing costs,
yep,
and you're like, and I remember, so I just finally bought my first house, and I'm like, what are closing costs? What does this even mean? Like, and
yep.
you'll go through all these different fees and stuff like that. Like, why is there an extra $3,000 here? That seems like a lot of money to me. To
Yeah.
just,
Oh yeah.
no, that's just a thing that we do, and you're like,
Like yeah, totally makes sense.
right.
Um, yeah, so for that would be my personal life. For my cosplayer burlesque life, um, it's definitely giving me time to like work on new ideas and really polish them at this point because it's gonna be a while until we have an actual show.
Yeah.
Which, and even for cases like we had a Harry Potter show planned right before quarantine started, and oh yeah, it was right there. It wasn't official yet, but we had ended up talking to the director who is immunocompromised, and so
Oh,
he felt it would be best if we just postponed it, which I'm glad
yeah.
we did.
Yeah.
That being said, I have two acts that are definitely needs to be polished. And then the other one, I've had time to think about it. So now I have a completely new idea
Ooh.
that I'll be doing. And I'm actually really excited for it because it's going to be something not a lot of people would expect. But yeah, so
Anything?
it's given me time to really like focus on that, I guess, really plan things out a bit
All
more.
right. Anything you can share with our viewers?
Well, as far as filming for TikTok, I have a few costumes that are in the works. Like I said, Molly Mock is one, but I just got the materials for Toga from My Hero Academia. I'll
One's
also
Toga.
Toga. She's blonde. She has the little space sponge. She eats blood. She's kind of crazy. I
Oh,
love
the
her.
one with the knives.
Yes,
Okay, okay, yes.
but it's TikTok and they don't like pointy things, so I cannot
Oh.
have knives in my videos. Um, but besides that, I did a makeup test for Kylo Ren the other night, and it turned out really good. So I think that might be added to the list as well.
See, I thought you were just going through a goth phase, but
Yeah, that was it. The emo kid is bubbling up inside me again. I can't
right,
stop
right.
it.
Oh, Kylo, our favorite emo character in recent years.
Oh no, emo baby. Anyway.
So, would you consider yourself more of like an anime geek, comic book, Star Wars? What's kind of like where you find yourself gravitating towards fandom wise, or do you have kind of a spread?
I would say I'm pretty spread as whenever it comes to interest in fandoms. There's a few games that I'm obsessed with, like Kingdom Hearts, Persona, Legend of Zelda. Um, I have I guess a penchant to go towards like supernatural TV shows, like Supernatural, Good Omens, anything that kind of has like magic or powers or I don't know, anything like fantasy.
Right.
Um,
What got you into them?
I don't know. I guess growing up on shows like Supernatural, and just especially like the X-Men were some of my favorite movies and comics. I haven't been a huge comic book person just because I never know where to start.
Right.
And the few people that I kind of talked to that were really into comics were a bit gatekeepy. And so it was one of those situations where I'm like, hey, I just want to know which one to start with. And they're like,
Right.
oh, you haven't read this? Oh my God, where have you been? It's like, I'm new. That's why
Well,
I'm asking.
I hate that stuff. One of the things that I've found, because I am no longer in a place where I will collect weekly or bi-weekly, like I just know I'm not going to get to the shops that often to buy like every next episode of that episode
Yeah.
issue. So I started buying graphic novels, compilations of stories,
Yeah.
like going back and reading Civil War or, Infinity Crusade or things like that, but just buying the complete books. I think I've got some Batman back on one of the shelves over here, but each one of those is like a compilation of like 12 different issues that just gives you the whole story.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of where I would be in that particular fandom, because I like weekly stuff, but also like, who has the energy? Who has the time? Like,
Well, also just the way that we ingest media has changed so much in the last 20 years that we want to be able to binge, whether it's
yeah,
books or with our movies or our shows. So, sitting and waiting around for the next episode or issue to come along, it's like, shoot, we've probably been advertised 100 other fandoms at that point. So it's kind of hard.
yeah.
Wait, what was that other thing that we were reading? I don't even remember anymore.
Yeah, you got to wring every little ounce of serotonin out of these out of these shows and in media. That's how it works.
What are some releases that you're looking forward to coming up?
um,
Anything?
honestly, I don't have any in particular that I'm really like waiting on, especially with most things being put on hold right now. A lot of movies are coming out
Yeah, we
either
just did a few
digital.
episodes.
Oh yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, there's a
Anything
few.
that is coming out that hasn't been put on hold.
Yeah, that hasn't. I will say one of the things I am looking forward to is Haunting of Hill House season 2.
Okay.
That's not going to come out until October, so it's a long game, but
All right.
I'm
All right. Let's see. What is a new obsession of yours that you'd like to share with us? Something that you've recently gotten into?
definitely Good Omens. I have pretty much watched the series through probably over 10 times. I'm not even gonna lie about it. I am obsessed. Um, I just find the entire story really captivating, and I've always been a fan of the book. So seeing
Yes.
it done so well on like it as a show really makes my heart happy. It has some of my favorite actors in it, plus some that are now my new favorites because of that show.
I mean, anything with David Tennant's already got my attention.
Yep, David Tennant or Michael Sheen. I will pretty much watch anything that they're in. That's
It's really magical to me that a book like Good Omens ever got written in the first place, because you have two huge names, Neil Gaiman, Terry Pratchett, and it's like I want to know how the conversation even happened of like, hey, let's write a book together.
probably over a glass of whiskey or two.
I would believe alcohol was somehow involved. And
Oh,
then, so the problem is when you get people that have that sort of notoriety, egos get involved. So then it's like, who does what, how much each, writer is being put into the story. I'd be curious to know, some more of the behind the scenes with that, but I do find it amazing that we ever got a book like that.
Oh yeah. Just the I don't know. I guess the overall like tone of the book, it's very unlike a lot of different stereotypical, apocalypse stories.
Yes.
There's just a certain lightheartedness about it, and it kind of reminds me again of like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It's that same kind of like very quick, witty humor that I can't get enough of. I love that like dry British humor.
Yes, very much so.
With an enchanting storyline, well-written characters. Yeah, it's definitely one of my favorites.
All right. So what is a forever fandom of yours? Something that you've just adored for a long time and just will be something that just kind of sticks with you always?
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. Okay.
Definitely.
All right.
I feel like that's a lot of people's like forever fandom.
It's a good fandom.
Oh yeah. I mean, I have a giant Slytherin tattoo on my shoulder, so I'm in it.
Nice.
I'm in it for life now.
I've actually got the job interviews with the Ravenclaw tie on.
Nice. Oh, I'll wear my Slytherin tie to work all the time. It's so great. Yeah, it's definitely one of those. It's kind of like a warm blanket. Like every time that I'm having a stressful day, and I just pop on some of the movies or read one of the books again.
Right.
That's another series that I've read so much. I think our our year one book is now in tatters. I don't think it has its the front cover or like the first 2 pages because it's just been read so much. Like they almost evaporated. They just no, yeah.
Oh yeah, my old copies are long gone, but that was, different moves and calamities, I think, got rid of all that. I actually had a book I was just reading. It was Howl's Moving Castle.
Oh, I love that book.
And the name of the writer is Diana Wynne Jones. Is that her name? I feel
so.
terrible that I can't remember author's name. And so I'm reading through it, and that whimsical sort of like fantasy writing, I immediately was like, J.K. Rowling read these books.
Yep.
This is totally something that she read as she was getting ready to write Harry Potter, 10 years later. And it's just interesting seeing, as you go back through different literature and films, seeing where different artists got their
Inspiration.
Sort of like, so the movie Labyrinth with David Bowie.
Yes.
There's a little gnome guy that's Hoggle is his name. At one point, they keep screwing up his name, and one of the characters calls him Hogwarts in the movie.
Yep.
And then I don't know if I've told you this story before, but there's a fantasy movie in the 80s called Troll.
Mm-hmm.
Warwick Davis is in it, of course, and he's the troll, and he's going from apartment to apartment in this apartment building, and each apartment becomes a different troll realm.
Nice.
So it's a different fantasy realm, and there's different things in there. And I had it on recently. I was walking past the TV, and there's a young boy who his sister gets captured by the troll, and he's trying to get her back. And as I'm walking past the TV, I hear one of the characters yell Harry Potter, and I spun around, and I was like, "Wait, what?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's the kid's name."
Nice.
The kid from Troll's name is Harry Potter, and I just blew my mind.
It's crazy how those things work out.
So getting off that course, what is a guilty pleasure fandom of yours?
I mean, I have a few. I would say probably the one that I was most recently re-obsessed with is actually Teen Wolf. It is so cheesy and so ridiculous, and I love it. I love everything about it. It's definitely one of those shows that I had seen it was on Amazon Prime, and I'm like, you know what? It has been years. It has been actual years. I never actually finished the show because I stopped having cable whenever it was still running. So right. I was like, you know what? Let me just for old time's sake, let me just watch a couple episodes. And then I just got re-addicted and just binged the entire thing. And it's one of those shows that like that last season, I was having like anxiety for the characters. I was like, I don't know how they're gonna do this. What's happening? Like genuine worry and concern for these people.
They become part of the family after a while.
Oh yeah, just sucks you in.
It really does. Well, I mean, that's the thing. That's how they get you. They keep those cliffhangers. They keep those hook moments that keep pulling you back in. So.
Oh yeah, they make the characters that you're like, I hate all the rest of the cast, but I'm gonna finish watching it just for you. Like that.
All right. So where are some places that the public can find you? Where's the best place to find Lobo Peak?
Oh, well, I'm on multiple different apps and websites. I do have a Facebook page, but I'm not really that active on it just because the algorithm never really favors me on Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook has neutered the reach on their pages, sadly.
Oh yeah. So I do have a Facebook. I have TikTok. Other than that, I'm also on Instagram, and pretty much all of my tags are just Little Bo Peak, all one word, except for Instagram because that's Little Bo Peak _burlesque.
All right, and then what is a takeaway that you would like to leave for the audience in, just kind of getting through what's going on? Anything you'd like to share with, other people that are just kind of going through things in the quarantine right now?
I would say keep your head up. That's the main thing to focus on. I think right now a lot of people are anxious in a lot of different ways. There's, the worry that you might get sick or someone will get sick.
Yeah.
There's a worry about what's going to happen whenever we reopen. Should we reopen? All that. There's a lot of things left up in the air that have yet to land, and we're all just kind of running around trying to see if we can just get through it. And although it might seem bleak right now and it might kind of put you in a dark place, just know that things will improve eventually. And while we might not ever go back to what was normal before, I think that a lot of what we're learning being in the situation is going to help us kind of adapt and really grow in the future. So take this time to, relax. You can, break your back trying to finish a new novel or, prove that you've used this time to the best of your ability. But I honestly think if you need to rest. This is the perfect time to just take a step back and really focus on where you want to go from here. This is your planning time. As Aaron Burr would say, I'm not standing still, I am lying in wait. You're lying in wait. It's okay. It'll be fine.
Wow. Yeah, no, those, I think I needed to hear some of that myself, because I'm definitely one of those people that feels like I need to validate all of my time, that it's being used to its utmost, or that I'm not wasting it. And I think that that's maybe some people's coping mechanism, perhaps mine, in all the anxiety of the uncertainty and dealing with the COVID. So no, those are great, great sentiments. I'm really glad you shared that with us today.
Oh yeah. Always keep in mind that you're already valid. Just doing what you do. There's, especially right now, if you have that time to create, art like this, or, TikToks or whatever it is to make yourself happy and make others happy, that's it. That's all you need. As long as you're happy with where you are, there shouldn't be any negative feedback on yourself, I feel.
Last question. Who is that behind you?
Oh, this is Jeffrey. This is literally one of my oldest. Oh God, I got this guy back in 2004, 2005. Whenever they first started getting really popular, and it's the perfect size to snuggle when you sleep, and so he lives on the bed.
Your faithful companion.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, I thank you so much for joining us this week and sharing your time and energy with us.
Of course.
And we will see you next time, Geek World. Thank you all for tuning in. Please, if you get a moment, I'm going to put her contact info on the bottom. If you want to follow her on Instagram, TikTok, or what have you, please like and subscribe if you have not. And again, thank you, Bo Peak. Thank you, audience, for joining us. And everybody have a great day.
All right.